Former NBC anchor Brian Williams suggests Democrats lost working class voters by insulting them with gaslighting. I definitely agree with that. But also, I would add, you place someone in there that was incompetent. She couldn't even do a full interview with people, couldn't sit down. I'm one of the most worst people Democrats ever ran for president, and the media tried to prop her up as well. But we're gonna talk a little bit about it. We're gonna play the clip. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so that you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. Um, and there's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Gateway Pundit from Mike LaChance. He reports that former NBC journal Brian Williams appeared on the Seth Meyers show this week and suggests that Democrats have completely lost the working class, which is true, and I definitely agree with that, and that it happened because Democrats kept gaslighting the public, which was insulting. It is. I mean, they just straight lied to your face. Crazy what they try to say, like the economy was fine, nothing was wrong with the economy, and the border was secure. Remember how long they was telling us the border was secure before they finally admitted it was a problem? Like, just crazy stuff. He points to the way Democrats kept insisting that the economy was great while prices kept rising to ridiculous levels, what I was just alluding to. He mentions the fact that the border was completely overrun while Democrats insisted that it was under control. I alluded to that as well. And he cites other examples, but it's all the same theme. So let's just get to this clip here. Where is it? Here we go. Here's the clip.
It did feel like the Democratic Party under Joe Biden did a lot of things for working class voters. Certainly inflation was a giant issue. Messaging as well. Do you feel like they just failed to message what they...
Hold on. He said messaging. What are you gonna have? What do you got a message on? What can you run on? They can't. They couldn't tell you one thing that that the Democrats did in the past 4 years to help anyone. Like you can't point to not one thing that the majority of Americans can point to and be like, yeah, they did awesome on that. So it wasn't a messaging issue. It was a substance issue.
had done for and had planned for the economy?
It is tough love time for the Democratic Party. I think it needs to be stripped down and rebuilt. I think that means a change in leadership. I want to know who thought it was a good idea that Joe Biden stand for another 4 years at 80 years of age and 37% popularity. So then that saddled the party with a British-like short campaign season for them. I think it's insulting when members of the working class, which the Democratic Party has lost entirely in our lifetimes,
I agree.
to insist the economy is doing great. A 12-pack of Bounty is $40. Rich
Crazy.
folks don't feel that. Poor folks already switched to Sparkle during the COVID, during the lockdown. And I think telling them that the NASDAQ is gangbusters is further insulting. It's insulting. I think the biggest unforced error of the Biden administration by far was the border. To tell people it's not a problem is insulting. For the working class to see incoming migrants getting welcome bags, debit cards, and motel rooms is probably insulting as well.
And it's very insulting. And Mayor Johnson in Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he's still talking about supporting the illegal immigrants while people suffering in his town and doesn't care what people say and how many people speak up and speak out against him and his policies. They could care less. And this is par for the course for Democrat politicians.
Well, so there's a lot of work to do. You know, it was when they handed out camo hats that said Harris Walls, and the Democrats they were kind of charmed by that. Their party has gone quinoa, and the rest of America's eating at Cracker Barrel. And so it was kind of an ironic use of something millions of Americans put on their heads to start their day every day.
So it's a huge disconnect, and the disconnect It's still happening. They refuse to look within themselves and try to change, and they still blaming everyone except for themselves. The article goes on to say, of course, the one thing Williams doesn't mention is that Trump was simply the better candidate. Agreed. That might have been a factor, don't you think? Absolutely. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.